Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. This week we're coming to you from, if you guessed Salmon Grove Development, then you're right. We're coming to you from Villa 123, that's Sea Glass Villa. Of course, I'm your host, Xavier Chambers, and we're going to head inside. But before we head inside and tell you a lineup of stories, I can assure you that you're going to enjoy this week's episode. Let's go. This week, we're sharing with you highlights from a Labour Sexual Harassment Forum, World Wildlife Day 2023 celebrations, and the Chief Secretary's T10 cricket competition will blast off next month. It's all happening in this week's Let's Talk Tobago. Paradise awaits you at Sea Glass Villa. This 4-bedroom luxury villa is located in a quiet and secure gated development close to the airport and beaches. Sea Glass Villa sleeps up to 12 guests. There is a private pool, and the well-groomed surroundings and the lakes make the environment very park-like. Guests will enjoy the very quiet, private, and peaceful surroundings. So Sea Glass Villa is safe and secure, but what should also be safe and secure is your work environment. So the Department of Labour, under the Office of the Chief Secretary, hosted a sexual harassment forum. We're going to take you there right now.
The THA is preparing for the implementation of the National Policy on Sexual Harassment in the Workplace. In doing so, HR managers, officers and supervisors from both the public and private sectors participating in a seminar hosted by the Department of Labour.
Public-private partnerships has to be established to build capacity and increase resources, especially when considering how diverse the island of Tobago has now become. This partnership plays a pivotal role in generating, transferring knowledge to all people, employees, employers, and students.
By the time we get to 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, it is even more difficult to understand that consent is something that can be given, and consent is something that can be taken away, even in the midst of it.
We have had all of this in it. Females usually sexually harass men, and we all laugh about it. I experienced that in one of my workplaces. If you're having a consensual relationship and somebody broke it off, you cannot now come and claim that the person sexually harassed you, because it was welcome and it was reciprocated. So it's not sexual harassment. When the act is assented to, there will be some definite responsibilities that the employer will be mandated to do within a specified time frame, right? So you have to formulate a written policy statement against sexual harassment within the workplace. Bring the policy statement to the attention of every member of staff.
The seminar was hosted at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort.
Nature is simply amazing, and as the globe celebrated World Wildlife Day most recently, Tobago also joined in the celebrations. How, you may ask? Well, we're going to take you to Scarborough Botanical Gardens to see.
Reptiles such as iguanas and snakes, mammals like monkeys, a variety of birds, and many more wild game were on display at Tobago's inaugural World Wildlife Exhibition at Scarborough's Botanical Gardens. Themed Partnership for Wildlife Conservation, the event was a collaboration between the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, and the Wildlife Association of Tobago.
While we as an association do our best to conserve and protect and educate about the importance of wildlife, we need others other stakeholders such as the THA, schools, groups to partner with us so that we can spread the message for protection, preservation, education, so that we can ensure sustainable development so that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we can have species existing here in Tobago.
Partnership in all that we do is important, especially for conservation. No one person, no one group can fully appreciate, not only appreciate, but sell the appreciation or market the appreciation of our wildlife resources or natural resources. And therefore we need to come together to market that appreciation for the entire landscape of Tobago.
In all of that, I think the collaboration is good, that we could help preserve the animals that is indigenous to Tobago especially. They are extremely important because they help the ecosystem to strike that balance between the birds have a part to play in keeping some of the pests around at bay, the iguanas have their role to play, the yard have the role to play in picking the little things around the yard. Instead of flies, we have more yard full around, we got less flies. So everything have its part to play. Once we understand that, then we could now move different. We just have to change where we think and see things and better understand the purpose of everything.
I love seeing the snakes and also the monkey.
The one-day event was also a good time for game wardens and environmentalists to remind the public that the hunting season is closed. This is vital for the repopulation and conservation of our wild animals. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
If you're in Tobago from April 4th to 8th, I'll need you to add this event to your itinerary, the Chief Secretary's T10 Blast Cricket Competition. Here's all the information you need to know.
The pitch is set. The date is set. Now, in its third year of running, it's time to choose the players that will lead their teams to battle in the annual Chief Secretary's T10 Cricket Blast 2023. And our cameras were there for the draw.
And it's about selecting the additional players to make up your full complement of 14. Two players from Trinidad. We do have one player retained from the St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then we're going to have the other players coming from right here in Tobago. So once again, we have 4 teams with us this year, 4 franchises, should I say. The Little Tobago Islanders, the Fort King George Gunners, Rainforest Rangers, and the Bucko Reef Divers. Orlando James will now lead that Little Tobago Islanders. Keishon Dillon was retained as captain of the Fort King George Gunners. And the captain of Rainforest Rangers, once again, Ansel Ned. And the captain of Bucko Reef Divers, once again, Jaron Alfred.
It's always good for the competition itself, getting that other competition, making sure that the competition is, somewhat more exciting because there are a number of players here to showcase their talent. So I have no problem with the competition. I'm just looking forward to it.
The Chief Secretary's Cricket T10 Blast will run from April 4th to the 8th at the Sid Grace Sporting Complex in Roxborough. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
We're going to take a break right now, but stay with us. We'll be right back.
When the quarantine thing done and everybody touch road.
Brown skin. Girl, I wanna wrap you up. Lift up your head and hold it up high.
So what if you could help clean the ocean of microplastics just by heading out to fish? Well, the village of Palo Tuvia is introducing Trinidad and Tobago to a new boat engine powered by Suzuki that can do just that. Let's hit the waves right now to learn more.
The Clean Ocean project is an international project that is put out
by the international Suzuki International. Basically, what they're asking all the dealers to do is every year to do something for the marine environment. So today we in Palatuvere, we are doing the launch of the first microplastic Suzuki 140 in Trinidad and Tobago. The owner of the engine is Mr. Carlos Peters. The reason why we really want to, push this engine is because of what the engine actually does. Inside of the engine, there's a microplastic filter. So while the engine is out at sea, operating, doing its normal thing, it filters the ocean and helps with the whole ocean cleanup that Suzuki is trying to promote worldwide. What the engine will take out of the ocean is the microplastic, that is harmful for us humans, even in our bloodstreams right now, and even in the fish that we eat right now. Because these plastics are, like I say, micro, they end up inside of smaller fishes. Big fish eat small fish, and then we eat the fish.
The microplastic filter, once you own a 140 and a 150 Suzuki horsepower right now, we will be able to, for every fishing trip that you do, you will be slowly cleaning up the oceans with the microplastic filter.
I've got that Suzuki to the airport and come with it because, in our country, we have to step up with game. I'll be friendly. And when I hear about this, I say I'll come up here today to see the wonderful work. So I wish the rest follow very quickly.
While staying at Seaglass Villa, you might decide you want to have a drink. Well, why not try a local brand like Tobago, which specializes in an array of beverages? Crystal George will tell us more in this story.
He makes products from Tobago and is also inspired by Tobago, with hopes of reaching the world. His brand, Tobago, offering an array of drinks including wines. And his main reason for getting into business was to give foreigners the opportunity to taste our local products whenever they hit our shores.
The name came from our first settlers, that's the Amerindians, and because of the shape of the island. I deal with drinks, right? Local drinks, wines, rum punch, creams, pancha creme. I thought it would be best to use that name to represent products made in the country itself. So wherever the product goes, a piece of Tobago goes with it. I think as a tourist-based country, we should have something local to offer outsiders, tourists, and not depend on goods coming from outside to give them when they come here. They didn't come for that experience, right? They come for something authentic, something local, something different. And this is what I do. Where grants and other, workshops are concerned, when it comes to learning various things about your own business, whether it be management, accounting, they have different workshops. They encourage young and small entrepreneurs alike. And like I said, 100% I would support them, right? I will tell anyone, BDU, people to liaise with.
Tobago is housed at the Signal Hill Micro Center. For more details, contact Kevin at 744-4550. I'm Crystal George for Let's Talk Tobago.
And that's a wrap. That's how we end this week's edition of Let's Talk Tobago. Be on the lookout for more stories again next week as we bring you our next episode. Now, for more information on Seaglass Villa here at Salmon Grove Development, you can call 682-3436. I'm Davia Chambers saying see you next week. Do have a fantastic week.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the Tobago Updates Youth Morning Show, coming to you live from the Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. And viewers, as you just saw, our live shot was proudly sponsored by the Port Mall. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of March, our favorite day of the week, and that is Youth Wednesdays. So for those of you joining us as you take your morning meditation, those tuning in as you drive on the road, I just want to thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates to start your morning on the right note. I am Luke Trim, and I'm also joined by
Dwayne Nurse, yours truly. Good morning to you guys, and welcome to Youth Wednesdays on the Tobago Updates morning show. Just remember, you are viewing us on M&E TV, Guile, Smash Radio, YouTube, and Facebook. It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning on this auspicious occasion. Wednesdays are very, very special days for us in Tobago Updates, and we are glad to have you with us. And we are also ably joined by... All right, so, we have a lot of good stuff this morning.
And doing yesterday, I think we saw that we celebrated Down Syndrome Day. I don't know if you rocked your socks. Did you rock your socks?
Well, I didn't wear any socks yesterday, so where I was yesterday. But I'm rocking my socks this morning.
That's great. That's really
better late than never.
Exactly. And thankfully today we'll be bringing on something. We'll be bringing on some people to have a segment about Down Syndrome Day.
Yes.
And we'll have to ask you what's been happening in this space thus far. So much heavy vibes.
Yes. You know, yesterday, unfortunately, we saw some, a road fatality, claiming the life of one gentleman. You know, in Tobago here, you know, given our small knitted community, we take the death of one person very serious.
Yes.
And, you know, I think it might be insensitive to just say, you take your time on the road, but let us be vigilant and let us be mindful and live our day, you know, as if it's our last day. You know, let's give the people the flowers while they're alive, and you know, just do the best that you can, right, to live cautiously.
I agree with that. I think we have to send our condolences to the Alfred family, you know, on behalf of Tobago Updates. Such a sad event. And guy was shot this morning. Report said that he's been treated at the hospital, so we really hope that he pulls through. And you know, it's just so much happening this week, and we have to urge our viewers, urge our listeners, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you know, just take a little 5 minutes off to talk to God, you know, cover yourself with the blood of Jesus, because so many things in this space. You have to be careful.
You can never be too careful. You can never be too vigilant, you know. But you know, sometimes it seems as if you know, there are no positive news, but today we are hoping to bring you guys some light, you know, in some of these events and interviews that we're having this morning. So, what do we have next?
I think it's great that we engage some people on the live. So for everyone joining us on the live, good morning. All it's Cohen, good morning, Ria. Oh, a special morning to you. Sharon Mills, Alisa Devines, Andre Alad, Maximilian Anderson, and Darky Sylvester. Good morning to everyone joining us this morning. And at this moment, we're going to head over to News in 90 Seconds with Kaylee Lewis.
Thank you, Dwayne and Luke. And here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 22nd March 2023. Tobago recorded its fourth road fatality yesterday following an accident along the Claude Noel Highway. According to police reports, 30-year-old Denbert Alfred was driving his blue Ford Ranger near the Lowlands Junction when he lost control of the vehicle and slammed into a tree. He died at the scene while a person in the front passenger seat was taken to the Scarborough General Hospital. Police are asking witnesses to come forward as they investigate the cause of the crash. A car suspected of being involved was parked near Alfred's wrecked pickup truck, but it had no occupants. Alfred was the owner of Frontview Bar and Grill. He leaves to mourn his wife and 2 children. Tourism Secretary Tasha Burris condemned a violent altercation that took place between 2 tour operators on reef boats. A video circulated online showcasing terrified cruise ship passengers witnessing a fight between 2 reef boat captains. According to reports, the fight occurred after the anchored vessels collided with each other on the Nylon Pool. Following the accident, cruise ship agents complained to the division and a formal response is being drafted for the affected passengers. Secretary Burris said the incident highlighted the need to introduce formal regulations to govern tour operations on the Buku Reef. WASA lost an appeal at the Privy Council and now has to pay a resident almost $2 million in damages. In her ruling, Justice Joan Charles held WASA liable for negligence and a nuisance for the destruction of Janet Bernard Rousseau's home at Upper Pashley Street, Success Village, Laventille. She said that the defendant should not have forced the claimant to take this case to trial, given that it was more than likely that her house had been destroyed as a result of WASA's leaking water main line. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you so much, Kaylee. And you know, here on Tobago Updates, we always have to wish our Tobago people and everyone abroad a happy birthday. So first on all this, we will be sending out happy birthdays to Arlene St. John. Happy birthday to you, and I hope you enjoy your day today.
All right, that seems to be our only birthday.
No,
Next we have Miss Crystal Fraser. Happy birthday to you, Miss Fraser, from the entire Tobago Updates family.
No.
That's actually not it. We want to send happy birthday greetings to our very own Dwayne Miss.
Oh yes,
happy birthday to you,
Dwayne. From your youth hosts, your co-workers, we really appreciate the energy and the vibe you bring here to Tobago Updates. So I hope that you enjoyed your birthdays, and Dwayne, just continue being you. Just continue being Dwayne.
All right, thank you guys very much, and I'm looking forward to the cake and the gift from our dear Candice. Thank you very much in advance. All right, thank you guys very much for these sentiments.
You're welcome, Dwayne. So viewers, today we will be giving you the rundown, and we will be starting off an interview with Down syndrome in schools. We'll be bringing on Ms. Sherma Alexander and Namaya Dempster to speak on that topic. Next, we will be bringing on Renessa Ortiz. She is a designer. She's a designer, and we will be highlighting her talent and her work here on Tobago Updates. And closing, we will be having Dwayne, who will be also joining Kaylee at some point with the interview. So right now, viewers, will be heading over to Tobago in Focus, so stay tuned.
All right.
Hopefully you've had your share of iguana, agouti and tattoo this season, as the hunting season is officially closed. Game Warden 1, Llewellyn Craig Roberts and Jester Allman reminded the public to return their permits and make the necessary preparations to comply.
What is expected as the hunting season is closed is that hunters who've been hunting during the open season had a permit to hunt is to return the permit as soon as possible, or the 31st of May of this year. Also, that they are not to hunt as the season already closed.
Weapons and dogs must cease to be used immediately, as there is a hefty fine attached to those infractions.
Well, the fine is normally $100,000 for anyone caught hunting in the closed season, or they could have up to 6 months imprisonment. And anyone also caught with meat, because as it is now for the month of March, those hunters could have their meat, right, until the end of March. They have a whole month to dispose of their meat, whether by eating, selling, whatever.
After March 31st, if anyone is caught in possession of any wild meat, they can be charged or face up to 6 months imprisonment. Persons have been caught and taken to court in the past. The Department of Natural Resources and Fisheries urges persons to obey the hunting laws, as those animals need time to repopulate and grow. If necessary, reports can be made to Mr. Allman at 348-6511. Permits are to be returned in the office at Chauvin Road.
Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now, 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
Tobago, it's time to go. Sweet like Tobago.
Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit digiceltt.com or a Digicel store now.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, Tobago, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates Youth Morning Show. This morning we have a very special interview for you. I am going to be doing this interview with my colleague,
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
Doing this.
It's a pleasure as usual.
Yes, of
and I love
course.
your purple, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I kind of wondering if it's because of the
phone case.
Well, because of the interview now.
The purple.
Yeah.
What correlation does it have?
Well, I thought that the World Down Syndrome Day has a color. I thought it was purple.
I don't think so, does it? Is there a specific color for World Down Syndrome Day?
Well, we will find out.
Okay, so we have our interviewees here with us this morning. So you could just introduce yourselves. Tell the viewers who you are.
Oh, my name is Shirma Alexander. I am a teacher at Signal Hill Government Primary School.
What is your name, darling?
Nema Dumpster.
All right, nice to meet you. And good morning.
I am Avian Dempster. I'm Naima's mom.
All right.
Very pleased to meet all of you. So we could start with you, Miss Alexander. Can you tell us a little bit about World Down Syndrome Day? And within your definition, you could also tell us a little bit about Down syndrome and what exactly it is.
World Down Syndrome Day, to me, I'm not in the field as a professional in that area, but as much as I can say is when the world and bringing awareness to children especially, and even people of the friends that we all have, we are all not the same, and helping us to appreciate each other and our differences. So as we are in school, I'm a teacher by profession, and yesterday not yesterday, on Friday, we had our neighboring school, Happy Haven. They came across and they took pictures with the children. They did a brief interview with them, talking to them about Down syndrome, what it really is, and the clinical part of it, and teaching the children that they need to appreciate everyone, even if we are different. So I think World Down Syndrome Day is bringing awareness to children. In my field, we'll say more to children and even the wider world about our unique friends and how we must appreciate them.
All right. All right. So my question to you is, just a simple question, just to get to know you a bit more. Where do you teach, and what is your experience like teaching, where you teach?
Well, let me go back to where I used to teach. I taught at Table Peace Government Primary for a number of years. There's where I met Naima. In fact, before even meeting Naima, I remember her mom and I are good friends. When Naima was born, she called me over and she was sad and depressed and all of that when she recognized that she had a beautiful baby with Down syndrome. And I did not even see that. I just saw a child, and a beautiful child. And I started, from then we created this bond. And because of where they live, I remember my principal came and she asked if I would be comfortable accepting a child with Down syndrome in my class, because I'm an infant teacher, infant one teacher. So most times the children meet me before they go on to the...
So you're a teacher at a primary school that is not catered for special needs children at all?
It's not. We practice inclusion. In all the schools I know, we practice inclusion, where we have these children in the system as much as possible, along with other children living with disabilities. We try to include them. As a matter of fact, when Naima came in, when I was at Table Peace, because they asked about experience, in that particular year, I had a child that was hearing impaired. I had one that was visually impaired. I had a child with cerebral palsy, and I also had a child with Down syndrome. And one way in which we can reach many of these children is by a term called differentiated instructions, meaning the content of the lesson is the same, but the delivery and the activities planned would be different. So even in the school that I was at Table Peace, and now I'm at Signal Hill, if we have children with these disabilities, when all the other children are tracing the number 5, we find a different activity for them. They would either stick or color or so, because we have to include them and still allow them to have the opportunity to learn. So I practiced differentiated instructions, and I know many teachers out there do as well, so that we can have our boys and girls be a part of the activity.
Okay, I love that you talked about inclusion, and you also mentioned that you taught children who were visually impaired and hearing impaired.
Yes.
Recently in the news, we saw parents of deaf students. They were talking about their children's opportunity at doing the SEA exam and it being unfair. What are your thoughts on that situation? Do you think it's a fair process in terms of children who are differently able having a fair chance at the SEA exam? What do you think can be done to, assist in that process?
They have, I think it's concession, they call it, where they have, if we recognize that the child in the system has a disability or needs further assistance in some way or the other, that child will be referred. And then on the day of the exam, they will have that child in a specific area and with an examiner, and that child will have sometimes extra time to do it. I have seen it. I was asked to do it at one time. So yes, and I know that many of the children, especially those who are hearing impaired and they cannot understand very well when we speak, it's difficult for them. So I will advocate for teachers being a little bit more educated and for little workshops, more workshops to be done so that we teachers can be able to interact with our boys and girls and help them to understand. Another example is in my class at school, my cleaner is deaf, all right? She's deaf. So I recognize that my class, if I have to communicate with her, it's difficult. So I myself went and learned sign language so that I can be able to communicate with her. I mean, I did level 1 and I'm going on to level 2. So when we have to speak and I have to say, clean the toilet, I'll clean the toilet. And most of the teachers will come across and ask me to tell her this or say that. So I think if we have like workshops to sensitize and to educate teachers and those in the environment about how to connect and communicate with these people, even children who are special, they would be able to fit in and be included nicely. The transition will be smooth, even for the SEA exam.
Now, Ms. Alexander, I really love how inclusive you are. You went and you took time to learn sign language. I think that's very, very important. And that's very, very commendable as well.
Thank you.
What has your experience been like with your students? You said you have a cleaner who is deaf, and you also taught Naima when she was at the infant level at Table Piece. What has your experience been like with children? How do they react in situations like that? Because, I mean, you said we have to have workshops for teachers, which I think is very important. But at the level of the children, you know that children can be very blunt. They say what they think, they say what they feel. How do you teach a child then to be inclusive, to accept that this is the situation? And, you know, how do you go about doing that?
Strangely, I think personally, what I've seen in my years of teaching, the children are more receptive than the adults. Children are children. So when Naima was at school, in fact, when I had Malik is the one with cerebral palsy, from the time I used to bring Malik to school, so from the time I reached, the children would be at the door waiting to receive Malik on the wheelchair. I remember they pushing Malik and he fell off and he bawled, whoa, let's do it again. You know, it was exciting. When Naima was at school, the children did not even treat her any way different. Even in our class setting now, if we have children that who are different in some way, we educate the children. We do lessons, we sing songs, we play games, and then we see the children, they play like normal. I think we adults create this separation, but they are like normal. I mean, when they grow a little older and they recognize differences, they will ask questions. And when they ask questions, we now have to be able to answer and answer them in such a way that we won't make anybody feel bad or break down any child or anything. But education is always the key. We do a lot of lessons to teach children about our friends who are differently able or living with a disability, our friends who are Down syndrome. When we had Rock Your Socks Day yesterday, almost everybody wore their socks, including teachers, because we support that. So the children are a little bit more receptive, especially me in the infant 1 class. You know, I deal with the babies. So the babies are like clean slates. So they come in and you can mold them and they just interact with each other in a clean way, in a fair way, in a loving way. Teach them to love each other despite our differences.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Alexander. Viewers, at this time we'd be taking a very short break. Please stay tuned because when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit with Naima and her mom as well. So stay tuned and remember to share the life, share the life, share the life.
how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
All right. Welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are still chatting with, we are still talking about World Down Syndrome Day. We are still here with the teacher and mom of Naima. Mom, I want to come back and ask you, given that Naima is your daughter, what was your reaction when you found out that she was a special needs child?
Well, at first it was sort of hard to deal with,
right?
But as the time went by, everything just fell into place,
Yeah. And do you want to share some of the challenges that you would have had, especially finding out, dealing with society, dealing with her needs and so on?
It has been very rough, I must say. In terms of health-wise,
right.
There's a lot of up and down. You have
right.
to deal with some of them. Society, habits, like, I should say parents. There are parents that, I don't know if they are ashamed of having kids like that, but for me, it wasn't anything hard to do.
And of course, with the help of Miss here, it became a lot easier.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Hi, Naima.
I'm good.
Morning.
Morning.
All right, so when you learned that you were going to school, how did you feel?
Good.
Good?
Yes.
Are you enjoying school?
Yes.
All right, what is your favorite subject at school, if any at all? What is your favorite thing to do in school?
In school?
Yeah.
TPs.
Huh?
TPs. From school.
Okay.
He's asking what you like to do when you go to school.
In school?
Yeah.
What you like to do?
You like to color, you like to draw, you like to... What?
Color.
Yeah.
Playing.
Okay.
Cook.
You cook?
Cook?
Yes.
Wow, that's very interesting. What do you cook?
Food.
Food?
Yes.
So you like sweet things?
Really?
What kind of things do you like to cook?
To cook rice.
Rice?
Yes.
Oh, so you're a rice person.
So what do you cook at home? You help mommy in the kitchen?
Making puff.
Oh, puffs.
Yes.
Wow. Puffs are very, very challenging to make. So if Naima could make puffs, that shoe pastry, she's a little pastry chef that we have here.
Yes.
Very, very interesting.
Yes. The reason why I asked you the question, Mom, is because traditionally, we stigmatize, special needs children, and parents in the community usually look down on parents like yourself, because of how we are. And it's quite commendable how you were able to transition and be able to ensure that she has a taste of a normal life, right? My question to you, Miss, is yes, it is easier to mold children, but do you see your perspective helping to shape the minds of the children in such a way that they could easily accommodate Naima?
Yes.
And what is your admonition to other teachers and even principals and by extension I would say the division of education, right, in training teachers to recognize and to sensitize and to and create an environment that is safe for our young young challenge ones?
Well, let me start with the division.
Then you could go all out.
Let me start with the division. I want to encourage them to act on referrals speedily, because many times we have children, as I said, I'm an infant teacher, many times we have children who are referred because of something we may have observed. Remember, we are not professionals in the field of special needs, so we cannot diagnose. We can observe, and then we take it to our seniors, and they would move accordingly. And many times we refer children, or we speak to the ones in charge, and the children will leave infants and reach standard 5 and still waiting to be assessed, still waiting to be acknowledged, because they do not have enough people to work along with the schools. I think in Tobago, it's just like about 2 or 3, I'm not quite sure, but it's for secondary and primary school. We need to have more professionals to intervene in these children early, because as an infant teacher, we are the ones who they would come to first. So early intervention is extremely important. And even with the children, there are things that our children who are living with disabilities or even with Down syndrome cannot do, and we are the ones that would have to assist them in doing it. So I remember when I had Malik, I had to actually take him to the washroom, and the children in my class at that time, from the time they recognize that Malik and I are not there, they will sit and be quiet, because we now molded their minds to, hey, we have to attend to them, we have to take care of them. So they themselves, if a pencil falls, they will take care of them. Naima's mommy could testify to the fact that when she was in Table Peace, it was one of her best experience ever, because the children, we really educated the children to love, to care, to value them. It is important that we take care of them. And as a teacher, I would encourage other teachers to really give an open arm, open your arms to these children. They are human like every one of us. And although we would need the extra, we would need someone there to help us and encourage us and support us, because it's not easy, especially being in a big school like I am. I'm in a school with over 300 plus students. It's not easy, and teaching itself is difficult. And then we have our babies that need our attention as well.
And I don't mean to cut you quickly, and I want you to both quickly comment on something, because you have very short time and we want to have her to sing. Quickly comment on the inclusion in terms of her having the semblance of a normal life, to the extent that she's out in the world of work, right? Just like anybody else. I just want you to guys quickly comment on that.
Quickly, I'm going to say because of inclusion, and because she was exposed to what we will say quote unquote normal children, Naima is so sociable. She can interact with any and everyone, as we recognize. She has the ability to do so much, and she's not only here, I also take Naima other places, like we went and we sang at some studios and so the inclusion is really helpful for these children.
Yes. Mom, what about you?
Well, for me, I carry her anywhere, and she loves to socialize. So she would talk to anybody, and I mean, it's just a good experience. You just have to have them out there, let them interact with everybody. Once you treat them normal, they start behaving as a normal person. That's the same.
And Naima, you like to cook, but I heard that you also like to sing, and that you prepared something for us this morning.
Yes.
So, Naima, you could go ahead and take it away and entertain all of our viewers this morning.
Okay.
Ready, Nai?
Yes.
3, 4.
Fire, 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 follow me. Fire, 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 follow me. On the day of Pentecost, fire, follow me. On the day of Pentecost, fire, follow me. When you hear me singing, fire fall on me. When you hear me singing, fire fall on me. On the day of Pentecost, fire fall on me. On the day of Pentecost, fire fall on me.
Wow, amazing! We had the applause coming all over the studio. Congratulations, Naima. That was really, really good.
Thank
Amazing
you.
job. You're welcome.
So she leads praise and worship in school, I presume.
Well, at this moment, she's at school for the deaf. So I believe that they have them singing and sing a lot.
Okay, great. It's wonderful. Thank you all so much for coming and chatting with us this morning. Viewers, that was Naima, her mom, and her teacher. Naima, this is your time to shine. We love you so much. See, she has a very, very pretty smile. Thank you for coming and chatting with us this morning. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
No problem at all. Viewers, at this time, we're going to take a very, very short break, and we'll be back to speak with Luke and Renessa. So stay tuned for that. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Live where you vacation. Come let we go. Come let we go. Come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go. Come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago. Come let we go. Come let we go. Come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go. Come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago.
Tobago, it's time to go. Sweet like Tobago.
Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit digiceltt.com or a Digicel store now.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome back to the Youth Wednesday show here on Tobago Updates. Now, fashion design is a form of art dedicated to the creation of clothing and other lifestyle accessories. And this morning, we have on set a young lady who has been gifted and talented to a point that her pieces can only be described as a wonderful and masterful work of art. Now, her talent has earned her this title of Youth Vogue. And ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you this morning none other than Miss Renessa Ortiz. Good morning.
Good morning, Luke, and thank you for that introduction.
Great, Renessa. How are you feeling this morning?
I feel very good.
So, Renessa, you are a youth designer, a youth fashion designer. And the first question I have to ask you is, what would have been the inspiration for you to get into designing?
My inspiration would have started at a very young age. I grew up watching my grandmother sew. I remember she sewed some of my school uniforms, and from there, that would have fueled my passion for choosing clothing and textiles at Signal Hill Secondary, where it is I would have gotten it as a subject. Now, fast forward from there, I didn't really pay much attention to it. I would have done sciences. And it's during COVID where things sort of picked up. I would have done some courses with Taylor M Academy in Trinidad, and that would have sparked the fire once more. And from there, things progressed.
Wow, that's a great story. And I like how you touched on COVID, because COVID was a period where a lot of people discovered talent, so even developed the talents they already had. And yours has led you right here on Tobago Updates. So, Renessa, what is your inspiration when it comes to designing? Who inspired you, or what inspires you to create a design?
Oh, that could be that's multiple things. It could simply be a person passing in a garment and I like the sleeve, or I like how the fabric falls, or I like how the embellishments look. And it could also be from Pinterest. A lot of inspiration comes from Pinterest as well. You look at the different designs that is out there and you pull them together and it's like, oh wow, what can I do with this? If it is I combine this with this, how would it look?
Wow, wow. So you seem to have a very active imagination up there.
Very.
Great, Renessa. And as a youth designer, what are some things that you face, challenges that you face, and how do you overcome them? Because this looks like a career where your brain always has to be stimulated, where you have to bring your A game. What are some challenges you face? What are some challenges you like to face? And tell us, what do you encounter on a daily basis?
Challenges. I think with each piece there would be a challenge that you would encounter, because when you are doing clothing, you have to look at the body type you are working with, and sometimes different body types require different things. Whereas someone with my size, you may not experience as much challenges as with someone who is plus size. There's a lot more work that has to be done, and you would have to do research. In school, they would tell you that research is important. Yes, it is in every single aspect of your life. Your phone, YouTube, the library, books. Other persons in the field, these are persons you can go to, ask questions, but you also have to remember that you have a responsibility to find out what it is necessary to get you to where you need to be.
I appreciate that response, Renessa. And despite the challenges, I'm pretty sure that there are some favorite parts when it comes to designing. What is your favorite aspect when it comes to designing a piece?
My favorite part would be going to the fabric store. I like to pass my hand on the fabric. I like to feel, I was like, okay, this feels like this could go in a nice palazzo pants, a nice kimono, a nice dress. Oh, this could form nice around somebody with a plus size shape. Choosing the embellishments, the beadings, the trims, the threads, the zippers, the different types. It's just a matter of visualizing while you are in the store.
Okay, great. And you have mentioned that plus size clothing design, it seems to be a passion for you. So tell us more about that.
I always like to be challenged, right? Personally, this is my view, my opinion. When I'm doing clothes for myself, it's for someone who's plus size now, there's a lot of brain work. You have to go in and say, okay, they have a curve here. How do I manipulate this fabric? How do I manipulate the pattern so that it sits on them in a way that is appealing and flattering to them?
Okay, great. So I love that. I really appreciate that, you always stimulate your brain. And it's not just you just getting up one day and say, okay, let me just put this on somebody, let me just put that on somebody. You're literally articulating how you're going to do it, how you're going to execute it. And at this moment, I think it's fair for us to show our viewers. Now and then we would have popped up a few of your designs on the screen, but I want us to show your designs and for you to explain a bit what we are seeing. So let's see what's going to pop up on the screen first.
Oh, me.
So tell us more about this design.
So this piece is actually what I created with Taylor M Academy during COVID.
Okay, great.
So this was one of the first pieces. This is the piece that sparked everything.
What's next on the screen?
Oh, this is the Vina.
Yes, the
she
Vina.
was one of the persons who would have encouraged me, who would have seen my potential. And she came to me with this piece to do for her. Cherise, this is a two-piece set made for Dream. She came and she's like, girl, I want something. I don't know what I want, but I want something with flare pants and a nice top. And we would have combined some different styles that we would have seen to create the piece that you're seeing here.
Lovely.
Tights. She came and she's like, we have a wedding to go in January. I was like, okay, what are you thinking? She's like, something garden. But before she could have even sent me her inspiration, I already started looking for things. And when we sent everything together, we realized that it was similar. So our brain were on the same wavelength. And this was Monday. This is actually the first time I've ever done something like this. I actually enjoyed doing this. Mommy came to me and she said, I want a fancy sailor outfit, but I don't know what I'm doing. So I told her I would draw something for you and send it. And we just went from there. So we made the piece and then she came and we did the fittings and we just arranged stuff where we liked, where we needed to move. And that's how everything came together.
Great. What do we have next? And I liked how you mentioned your mom. Has she been an inspiration for you throughout your entire journey?
Halfway through.
Halfway through.
Yeah, because my dream, well, not my dream, but initially I was planning to do medicine. And we were on that fast track to, okay, she's going to go and do medicine. And then a complete 360. Now I'm here doing this. And with time, that she saw that I was actually passionate about it and it was something I was serious about. She came on board and she has been my support since then.
And I want to send a special morning to your mom because we actually work in a manner of speaking together at the hospital. I met her and chatted with her already. So a special morning to her. And Renessa, tell us more about your business. Tell us about your business, Ren Creates.
Ren Creates is an extension of me as a person. I like vibrant, bold. My personality is described in that same manner. So I like a lot of bright colors, bright prints. And Ren Creates is my baby. It gave me something to hold on to. It gives me something to wake up and continue striving towards something to continue developing myself with.
Great, Vanessa. And lastly, I would like to ask you to let us know people you would like to thank. People who have encouraged you throughout your journey, people you want to appreciate at this moment. This is your moment to, give that sense of gratitude.
I would like to thank Kendra. She knows why I thank her. I remember when I wanted to start, I would have explained some of the things that were holding me back, and she's like, just do it. You just need to do it. Natoya, the owner of Natoya's Cosmetology Boutique, my best friend. Rianne, Davina, Cherise, Oshun, the Phoenix Society, my grandparents, especially Grandpa. Thais, the persons who continue to be customers, who continue to be clientele, the persons who refer me, the persons who see my work, those who share it, the persons who became my Instagram friends of sorts because they are constantly there, they are constantly looking at my content. Without them, I am nothing.
And Renessa, for those who would like to contact you, let our viewers and listeners know how they can reach out to you. What are your social media handles?
On WhatsApp, you can contact me at 293-0372. On TikTok, it's Ren Creates. Instagram, Ren Creates, and Facebook as well.
So Renessa, on behalf of the Tobago Updates family, I want to thank you so much for joining us on set this morning, for giving us that personality, that vibe, that color. We really appreciate your presence here, and I wish you all the best in your career, your journey, and your business. Keep it up. So ladies and gentlemen, that was Renessa Ortiz, Youth Vogue. So Renessa, remember we have to tell our viewers to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back after this break.
Welcome to Limache Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Book your passage and come on. Oh.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome back to the Youth Wednesday show on Tobago Updates. Now viewers, before we close off, just a notice. The Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago Limited wishes to advise the public of a full-scale emergency stimulation exercise on Thursday, the 23rd of March 2023, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon at the Cove Tobago Eco-Industrial Business Park, Cano Bay Road, Lowlands, Tobago. So, Dwayne, we have reached the end of our Wednesday show.
Oh, yes. I enjoyed the entire program this morning.
Me too.
Especially talking about special needs kids and some of the intricacies and some of the deficiencies and even opportunities for the island to be more sensitized, because I really do believe that the only difference between those children that are special needs and those that aren't is they require more time.
Okay,
they require more time, they require a lot more resources. And I think, if we have all hands on deck, Tobago can move a whole lot faster in a better direction.
I appreciate that, Dwayne, and it's always a blessing and it's always a pleasure to bring on youths and highlight them. We would have just highlighted Miss Renessa Ortiz, such a talented young lady, and I just wish her the best in life because she has so much in store for her. At this time we will be doing some tributes for the people that would have passed away yesterday in particular. And Dwayne, it's really important to tell the people you love that you love them while they still can't hear you. So we want to send out condolences to all these people. So in the green shirt, that is Mr. Denbert Alfred. Next we have, and this is Scarborough Sec alumni, I might add. It's really sad. All the past students of Scarborough Secondary School. And to the families of the deceased and the guy in the black shirts, that's Mr. Kern Daniel. Kern Daniel and
the young ladies, Miss Halima
Miller. Yes, I think as another past student of Signal Hill also. So we have Mr. Denbert, Mr. Kern, and Miss Halima. And we just want to send our condolences to their families. Grieving is something that I don't even want to wish on my worst enemy. And it's always different doing when you have to sit at the front, the front row of the funeral. So condolences to these families, and viewers, listeners, just stay safe out there. Cover yourself. It's really, life is just a unexpected thing. So viewers, at this time, listeners, we want to thank you all for joining us here on Tobago Updates. We really appreciate vibing with you all every Wednesday. we'll be heading over to Good Morning Tobago with Candice Jackson. So it's always a pleasure here having you all tuning in on Wednesdays and every other day here on Tobago Updates. So Dwayne, we have to tell them to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
The THA is preparing for the implementation of the National Policy on Sexual Harassment in the Workplace. In doing so, HR managers, officers, and supervisors from both the public and private sectors participating in a seminar hosted by the Department of Labor.
Public-private partnerships has to be established to build capacity and increase resources, especially when considering how diverse the island of Tobago has now become. This partnership plays a pivotal role in generating, transferring knowledge to all people, employees, employers, and students.
By the time we get to 18, 20, 30, 40, 50, it is even more difficult to understand that consent is something that can be given, and consent is something that can be taken away, even in the midst of it.
We have had all of this in it. Females usually sexually harass men, and we all laugh about it. I experienced that in one of my workplaces. If you're having a consensual relationship and somebody broke it off, you cannot now come and claim that the person sexually harassed you, because it was welcome and it was reciprocated. So it's not sexual harassment. When the act is assented to, there will be some definite responsibilities that the employer will be mandated to do within a specified time frame, right? So you have to formulate a written policy statement against sexual harassment within the workplace. Bring the policy statement to the attention of every member of staff.
The seminar was hosted at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the sky.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region. With the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine, I am Candice Jackson, and let's get started with the news in 90 seconds. Tobago recorded its 4th road fatality yesterday following an accident along the Claude Noel Highway. According to police reports, 30-year-old Denbert Alfred was driving his blue Ford Ranger near the Lowlands Junction when he lost control of the vehicle and slammed into a tree. He died at the scene while a person in the front passenger seat was taken to the Scarborough General Hospital. Police are asking witnesses to come forward as they investigate the cause of the crash. A car suspected of being involved was parked near Alfred's wrecked pickup truck, but it had no occupants. Alfred was the owner of Frontview Bar and Grill, and he leaves Simone a wife and 2 children. Meanwhile, the Tourism Secretary Tasha Barris condemned a violent altercation that took place between 2 tour operators on board reef boats. A video circulated online showcasing terrified cruise ship passengers witnessing a fight between 2 reef boat captains. According to reports, the fight occurred after the anchored vessels collided with each other on the Nyland Pool. Following the incident, cruise ship agents complained to the division, and a formal response is being drafted for the affected passengers. Secretary Burris said the incident highlighted the need to introduce formal regulations to govern the tour operations on the Buku Reef. And nationally, WASA lost an appeal at the Privy Council and now has to pay a resident almost $2 million in damages. In her ruling, Justice Joanne Charles held WASA liable for negligence and nuisance for the destruction of Janet Bernard Rousseau's home at Upper Pashley Street, Success Village, Laventille. She said that the defendant should not have forced the claimant to take this case to trial, given that it was more than likely that a house had been destroyed as a result of WASA's leaking water main line. And that was your news in 90 seconds. Well, viewers, there's a lot happening within our space, a lot to talk about, but we have to switch gears away from some of those things to talk about what's going on with our budget. But just before we do that, I just want to remind you all just of a little public service message. And this is from the Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago, better known as EIDCOT. And they wish to advise the public of a full-scale emergency simulation exercise on Thursday, 23rd March 2023, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. at the Cove Eco-Industrial Business Park in Canoe Bay Road, Lowlands, Tobago. So if you're in that area, just be aware on Thursday, which is tomorrow, that this emergency exercise is happening. Of course, please don't be worried or anything like that. This is just a way for them to prepare for in the event of any natural disaster or emergency. Of course, these drills are continuously important. So yes. So yes, viewers, I mean, like, we've had a lot of things happening within our space. That incident that happened on the reef boats earlier this week. I mean, we were so happy to see, 2 cruise ships in the harbor, and this was on Tuesday, I believe, on Monday. And, I mean, there's been a lot of work that's been going on to get visitors to the island. However, it seems as though sometimes it is our own people that destroys the tourism product and destroys the efforts made by the division, by TTAL, all those people that are doing the marketing for us. And it is sad. I mean, at some point we need to get to that place where we are okay with perhaps taking harsh measures against those people that hustle at the Store Bay facility, even at Pigeon Point, because it is not nice. We all experience it, whether you're local or not. The hustling and the almost the attitude you get sometimes when you tell some of these hustlers that no, you don't want to go on the vessel and whatnot. They can get very hostile with you. And then when they're out there, I mean, it doesn't seem that they care about the actual tourism product. And it brings home the need that we need to issue licenses and permits to some of these people because, if the situation continues, it's going to damage our product. And then, I mean, how are we really regulating the use of the Buku Reef? Now, the Buku Reef is also a Ramsar protected site. And unfortunately, Tobago does not have that power to regulate it or police it in the way that it needs to be done. There was a bill that was done in 2019, I believe, that designated that area as a Buku Reef Marine Park, and it was sent down to Cabinet and to Parliament to go to be passed so that, Tobago can be given that power to regulate that area, and we need that. And it means that we also need to get rid of those hustlers, as harsh as it may sound, because, I mean, it's either that they conform to some regulations, like the protocol and so on the reef, get themselves educated and certified, or we don't have them at all. Otherwise, we're going to have situations like this. It's unfortunate that this one was captured on video, but of course we know that this actually happens quite often. And it is sad when it does, because we have a wonderful tourism product here in Tobago. And we can't let a few miscreants destroy that product. So we're waiting to see what comes out of the efforts of in the Division of Tourism. I know they are looking into this. They're taking this matter very seriously, and this has caused some concerns. Hopefully, it would not affect future cruise ships coming to the destination, and it would not affect, the cruise ship agents being able to connect. So, yeah, it's a lot to think about and a lot to consider. But in the meantime, we go to a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into some of our conversations scheduled for this morning.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise here. Let's go, go.
Tobago, it's time to go. Sweet like Tobago.
Tobago, here's the real deal. Nothing sweeter than when your internet fast all day, every day. I telling you, it's real nice when your home internet and TV package fit your budget. Well, if that's what you want, you're safe with Digicel Plus. Sign up or switch to Digicel Plus now and pay $0 for 1 month. Plus, plans start as low as $199 and you get installed for free. Visit digiceltt.com or a Digicel store now.
October will never be better with Tobago Carnival fever. Okay, passage and come on over.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tattoo will always be here for you.
Tattoo, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Welcome to Limage Parfait Day Spa, your urban oasis and wellness center. Our services includes massages, treatments, facials, pedicures, weight management, detox programs, and much more. Call us today at 624-1452 or 720-7474. Trinidad locations and Bonacore, Tobago at 273-7772. Let us treat you like the VIP you are.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. And well, viewers, joining me this morning is none other than Mr. Anselm Richards, an economist and of course a social scientist. And we're speaking about the midterm budget review. We have the THA's budget that is due by the end of June. Still a couple months away from that. However, there's been some things that came up recently about, just being able to cover salaries, and especially in relation to the division of food security, natural resources, the environment and sustainable development, where they had some concerns in terms of paying some of their workers. And so, Mr. Richards, good morning and welcome to you, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago Updates family. Thanks for having me.
Time. Now, first of all, I just want to get into this whole matter of this division of food security, natural resources, the environment, and sustainable development. Now, we were still, from the reports, we're still having challenges in terms of some of the workers that have not been able to get paid. And this is because of budgeting constraints. The wage bill in that division is just $900,000 short of their total budget. So what perspective can you give us on that? Is there any updates can you give us on what's been happening there?
Okay, let me just say that we have to put this thing into perspective. So what is happening, the wage bill in that division is divided into two components in keeping with the cost items of the division. So you have the recurrent side where we pay the normal wages and salary and emoluments, charges and so forth for workers in the division. And then there's a development component where we have workers, daily pay workers working on infrastructural issues that are considered development. For instance, the maintenance of the access road, the landing site, the beach facilities and so forth. So those are considered development expenditure under the development side of the operation of that division. So what is happening, the way the resources are structured, the challenge is that the wage component in the development program is a bit weighty. So you're having those procedural challenges. but it is not that resources are not available to pay the workers. What is happening? We have to do a more dynamic fiscal and financial analysis to shift the resources around from other expenditure items that are suppressed for this fiscal year and move them into those expenditure items that attract these wage component. So that is the little dynamics that needs to happen. We are having that conversation and that kind of process rolled out in the division so that the responsible public officers and public servants will understand the dynamics of the situation, and therefore the resources can be moved in a more timely manner to treat with those concerns. So it's not really an availability of money. It's just how you do, because we are in a very tight fiscal space. You understand the issue of inflation on the cost of the operation of government, and the resources of the THA has not been increased even to compensate for the inflationary pressure that is being placed on the operation of the THA. So then you are now in a tighter space to carry out your normal operation at a higher cost with less resources to reach the change in prices. So that's some of the fiscal and financial dynamics that we need to understand in the Tobago space that is happening. So there's really no crisis where the payment is concerned.
I just want a little bit of clarity, Mr. Richards. If I understand you clearly, there was some issue in terms of the timeliness of monies being transferred to the division to pay these workers. Is that right?
This is not really a matter of transfer. It's a matter of environment. It's a matter of moving money internally within the operation of the division to meet these items, because the division have a body of line items under which expenditure are charged. In that regard, some of those activities are suppressed for this fiscal. So the strategy is to have a very active financial manager who can understand the dynamics of the division and move the resources in a timely fashion, so they will arrive in those charges account so that wages can be paid.
All right. Now, is this happening throughout the assembly? Because every now and again we hear reports of workers are not being paid on time, challenges with salary payments.
The problem in Tobago, and I'll say it very bluntly, the problem in Tobago, we have institutional systemic issues. We have human resource challenges in terms of the capacity and capability of some of our public officers and public servants to execute these responsibilities in a timely and efficient manner. We need to look at the institution that is called the THA and make it a more agile, responsive, and effective institution. This is something that we have inherited, and it's something that is being worked on actively. We can't bury our heads in the sand. We have a productivity issue, we have a production issue, we have a human resource capacity issue, and if we turn away from those issues, we are going to end up with other people coming to run this very institution that we have fought for over 50 years. Because
what specific, did we lose Mr. Richards? It appears that he's frozen. Viewers, yes, we are continuing to talk about some of the budgeting issues that the THA is faced with. Now, when we get back, Mr. Richards, hopefully we can get some answers for him as to what is being done about the situation. Because we know this isn't the first time it has happened. It's not something that is only endemic to this present administration. This has happened in years gone by. However, we need to see some action as to what's going to happen to fix it. Now, how would this change the budget that we are going to expect in June? Would we see any new measures put in place so that we can really avoid late payments of salaries? Because this was one of the promises that the current administration, the Farley-Augustine-led administration, put in place, made before coming into office, that late payments of salaries and so on would be a thing of the past. However, it keeps creeping up. And whenever we question the authorities, it seems to be just an issue. So, Mr. Richards, now that we have you back, my question to you is, what specific measures are being put in place to make sure that we don't have this problem happening, especially as we get closer to the budget?
Right, so these issues are administrative issues. It has to do with the management of the division, which falls really, the executive head is really the secretary, and then you have the administrator who is the accounting officer. I think we need to have a more dynamic management system at the level of the administration and the staff, looking at these issues in a timely fashion, doing the projection, moving the resources. The situation, as I see it, is very flat and mundane, and we need to create a more dynamic management of the public service. The public service cannot be just, the average sluggish, beastful bureaucracy. It has to be dynamic, agile to respond to the evolution, the evolving needs and changes of the society. And I think that we need to create the teaching into that kind of animal, if I may use that term, a more responsive institution. I think it is mundane, it is flat, and it is not, and a deficit in the capacity of some of the public officers to do this work. I make no apologies for saying that. We definitely need to look at
for years we've heard, actually since perhaps 2012, 2013, we've heard that the THA is moving to reform their accounting systems, because of course we know that not only salaries are being paid late, but contractors themselves, service providers, are also not receiving money on time. This continues to be a problem year after year. And year after year we hear from the THA that they are reforming their accounting system to a more modern, something digital, and something that can hold public officers to account. Where are we really with us concerned?
So we are talking about multiple issues here, Candice, and we don't want to conflict the issues and mislead the listening public. So we have two things. We have the internal processes in the payment of workers, which is not a availability of cash or money issue. It's an issue in terms of the efficiency and the dynamism within which that are working within the division, which means that we need to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the operations of the division. These are human issues in terms of the administrative processes. That's one issue. The issue of the payment of the contractors is another issue that has to do with the inherited debt and the capacity, the fiscal capability and financial muscles of the THA to execute the payment of those liabilities, which requires us to get an improved allocation from the central government to liquidate that liability. So those are two different distinct issues. We have been in consistent communication and conversation with the Ministry of Finance towards getting resources to treat with these resources that are owed to the liabilities that are owed to contractors. We have received some resources. We have started to pay the contractors, and that is an ongoing process that is being executed at the level of the chief administrator. So those are two separate issues. The other issue in terms of the modernization and the computerization of the financial management system of this government of Trinidad and Tobago, and I emphasize the government of Trinidad and Tobago under a national program called IFMIS, Integrated Financial Management System, is ongoing. There are some legislative and other chart of account issues that are being worked out. That project is being executed from the Ministry of Finance in Port of Spain. The THA is one of the agencies that have been uploaded to be one of the pilot projects in that exercise. So 3 different issues, and we want to put them in their respective places as we discuss these matters going forward.
As you mentioned, additional funding, access to additional funding to settle some of the debts, and of course, perhaps to engage other projects. Where are we? How much money in additional funding did we receive, and how much more are we expecting?
Well, we remember, if we go back to this fiscal 2023, you will remember that the Chief Secretary in July of last year, and you mentioned that the budget will be read again before the end of July, presented a fiscal package, rolling out the programs and projects and the associated expenditure that the THA thinks is necessary to move the Tobago economy and its people in a particular direction in fiscal 2023. We asked for just about 3.9, call it $4 billion. We were allocated just over $2.5 billion. We asked for $900 million for development expenditure. They gave us $300 million, which is just 33.3% of what we requested. We asked for just $3 billion for recurrent expenditure that deals with workers' pay and all of that. We who allocated just over 2.2 billion. So that's the kind of deficit, that's the kind of shortage the THA has to operate in. So we cannot execute all that we had programmed to execute in the budget. So the Chief Secretary came back in October thereabout and do what we call a recalibrated budget based on the revenue that we have received from Port of Spain. So we are continuously reviewing the situation because it's a very fluid and dynamic situation. We are looking at what we propose to do at this particular point in time, where we are now, what are the intervening circumstances and situations and issues that require, that were not budgeted for, that require that call for an expenditure. It's a very dynamic process. So those things are being considered as we go along. Definitely, we need additional resources because, as I said before, the cost of operating the THA has been impacted by the inflationary pressure that have been felt globally, and more so the imported inflation that we are facing in Trinidad and Tobago. And we know that Tobago carries a heavy burden where inflation is concerned because of the transshipment issues of goods and services from Port of Spain to Scarborough. We have those issues, and the cost of operating the THA have skyrocketed because of the inflation, and we have limited resources. So we are continuously reviewing the situation, looking at the changing circumstances, see how we can reprioritize, how we can move the cash. It's the same process I described that needs to happen at the level of the Division of Food Security. You need to have that dynamic, and that is what is missing in this space. Yes. We don't have that dynamic sugar movement of looking at the situation on a continuous basis to see what can be done, what can move here, and that kind of agile way of managing an entity. We need to build that out in the division across the THE. So that is where we are working towards. That is what we are working towards. Those are the issues we are facing to bring efficiency and effectiveness to the spend of the THE. In terms of the midterm review is a national exercise that the central government, the Minister of Finance and the Ministry of Finance is really reviewing at the midterm of the budget the projected revenue and expenditure, and then the condition that against the intervening circumstances and issues that happened since the budget was read and where we are now, whether there are new issues that were not budgeted for in fiscal 2020 that we need to bring on books and bring on accounts, and therefore we look at the revenue projection, the revenue collect, whether we are reaching the target based on the budget, and therefore what fiscal space that the government has in order to increase expenditure by dealing with new issues or expanding activities in certain critical areas like education, health, and that kind of thing, agriculture, food security. That's the kind of dynamic exercise that is taking place. It may not be reaching its revenue projection, and therefore it may have to cut expenditure and all of that. But from the THA perspective, we are putting our request together because we need additional funding in critical areas in the THA. We need additional funding to pay the contractors that you have alluded to. We need additional funding to meet the wage component in the development program under the food division. So we are putting our request together in a very dynamic and real way, and we're going to put that before the central government and say these are the additional funds Tobago needs to carry out its activities and program for the rest of fiscal 2023, which will end on September 30th, 2023. That is where we are. That's the process we are involving at the Division of Finance, and that is what the Chief Secretary and Secretary of Finance is leading as we speak to these issues.
Now, Mr. Richards, are you hopeful that we will get that money, because, or at least some of that money, because in previous mid-year budget reviews, Tobago has gotten additional funds, let's say, to do access roads, agriculture access roads, and so on, like specific projects, but not necessarily additional funding to treat with some of our debt. So, I mean, given that pattern, do you think that we will be able to get some of that money that is needed this time around?
Well, we have been having real conversation with the Ministry of Finance and the Finance Minister. We have been saying to Port of Spain, straight 180 degrees across the table, that the development of Tobago equals the development of Trinidad and Tobago. And until that resonates and is vested and create the kind of interest in Port of Spain, we are going to be subject to the kinds of issues that you are raising here now. So if we don't change the construct in the minds of those who control the central government and control the national purse, to bring them to the place where they understand that investing the required sum in the development of the Tobago economy results in the development of the Trinidad and Tobago economy. Because remember, what we operate in this country is a centralized government. All the tax resources go to this consolidated fund, and Port of Spain distributed through the budget process. We have been contributing our oil resources off the east coast of Tobago, northeast coast of Tobago. Testimony to that. So all that goes to a consolidated fund. What we have been experiencing over the years is that what has happened because of the DRC ruling, Port of Spain has been given Tobago, like last year, $4.30 out of every $100 they project to spend by the way of the budget, which is really an insult to the people of Tobago. It's really an insensitive calculation based on the needs and where Tobago socio-economic development are compared to Trinidad, and therefore at this point we need to carry the conversation to Port of Spain that they need to make a greater outlay, a greater investment in the development of Tobago and the Tobago economy and the people of Tobago, the institutions of government of Tobago. I give you some insight in some of the institutional challenges we are facing, the systemic problems that we are facing, and therefore we will continue to engage positively. We are going to put the facts and the data before the central government. We are going to make our case as forceful as we are required to in the representing the people of Tobago and the island of Tobago. But at the end of the day, the people of Tobago will have to make a decision as to whether Port of Spain is treating Scarborough justly and fairly in the national scheme of things.
Right. I would think that's it. We have all the time we have for this conversation this morning. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Richards, for being on with us and to give us a perspective on what's been happening within the THA financially now, as well as some prospects for the mid-year budget review that should be coming up pretty soon. So thank you again, Mr. Richards.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Tobago, for listening.
All right. So yes, viewers, so pretty soon we're going to be hearing from the central government about what's to happen in the mid-year budget review. You know, like I said, traditionally we've gotten some extra money for access roads and a few projects, but it never really rebounded to, you know, the actual money, some of the actual additional funds that Tobago needs. So maybe this year it could be a little bit different. Let's wait and see. So we are going to go to a break now. And when we come back, we're going to get into some more conversations.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. And viewers, I am being joined by Ms. Shanella Blake, who is a coordinator of the Multipurpose Center for...
I'm currently not attached to a multipurpose facility as you speak. I'm now stationed within the division at the Glen Road office. Good morning.
Okay, great. Good morning. And we are speaking about a Tobago Road Market Experience.
Yes, the Tobago Road Market Experience 7. This event is on Friday, the 24th of March, 2023. It will be held in the Charlottesville area. So we're looking at the Bayfront area in Charlottesville. That we'll have tents set up, a stage. It'll be lots of activities on the day. The Tobago Road Market Experience, it used to be called the Tobago Night Market, because we usually run the market from 2 p.m. till about midnight. And it was an avenue for local vendors and entrepreneurs, persons actually coming out of our vocational skills training program, it was an avenue for them to market their business when they come on. So it started as that, and then we started targeting local entrepreneurs, people who now starting up their business, that kind of thing. And we give them a space, free of charge, to market their business and put their businesses out there for persons to know that, hey, this exists, come and support me.
So we're going to be on Charlottesville this weekend.
Yes, Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So this market is a market of a little bit different, a little bit of a difference, because, as I said, the time normally is from 2 to midnight. But seeing that on that day there will be a cruise ship in harbor, then we decided to shift the market from 2 p.m. and it will start at 10 a.m. and run till 10 p.m. just to facilitate the influx of tourists that will be on the island that day.
All right. And then you are calling for all of Tobago to come up to Charlottesville on that day.
Yes, I am asking people to come out and support the local vendors, because we're trying to encourage them to build their tourism product. We're trying to get them to come out and make this event not just something that comes out from the division, but something that local businesses and entrepreneurs will take upon for themselves, because we know that the tourist season will be coming. Tourist season comes every year.
Yes.
And we now will have more tourist ships in the Charlottesville area. So we're encouraging the locals to take up this initiative and run with it, even after we would have passed and done this event on Friday. We're asking that it's something that they look to, they continue, and maybe other communities can also adapt something similar, because the tourists just don't come and stay in Charlottesville or stay in Scarborough.
Yes.
They go throughout the island, and if you could adapt something like this and market it to them, they may be willing to come to visit your village.
Yeah, and then it's not just going to be vendors that are selling their handicrafts, etc. There's also going to be some performances, some entertainment.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
We'll be having an entertainment segment. The entertainment segment should run from like about 4 to 5 p.m. We have Charlottesville's very own Franz Joe performing.
Yes.
We have Stephanie Joseph, Ainsley King, Selector Treaty, and Snoopy will be on throughout the day. We have Keishon Jack. He's from the northern part of the island. And we have something that we normally say for the road market. The road market is supposed to be totally Tobago, totally Tobago grown, Tobago made. So every aspect of the market is something produced or made in Tobago. Everything will be totally local, including the entertainment.
All right, great. So, I want to also talk a little bit about the importance of getting our local products, getting Tobagonians familiar with the products that our people are making.
Well, yes. So a lot of people have the small businesses here, and many people in Tobago may not know that somebody in Charlottesville is doing resin art, or somebody in Charlottesville produces cocoa. So these markets provide an opportunity for these vendors and these entrepreneurs to come out and showcase, hey, I am doing this. This is me, and I want to put my product out there. And we also encourage the vendors, when we invite them to the market, to brand their products well, so that it could be something attractive for the persons, and not just have it, anyhow. But, and also we ask them to make business to business connections, because a lot of the things that are happening, you can
partner with.
Yes, you can partner with. So somebody who's probably doing resin art, or can partner with somebody who's doing something in handicraft, and you put a nice little package together that can be, marketed towards the international public.
All right, great. And we like to encourage our people to be entrepreneurs.
Yes, we do.
But they can't be successful entrepreneurs if nobody buys them or nobody knows about them.
Yes, and that is the reason for the market. We're trying to give them an avenue for people to come and see that they are producing these things and get them the exposure that they need.
What about in terms of getting connected with the road market? I mean, what if there are some vendors that are watching and it's like, you know, I didn't hear about this before and I want to get involved. Can they get involved?
Well, not for this one per se, but we will be having future markets. This market is the 7th. So we've had 6 markets before. So this market will be within the Charlottesville area. A catchment area for this market was Roxborough to Charlottesville. So we normally have field officers and liaison officers who would have the information, and the division already has a database of entrepreneurs. So we reached out to persons within those areas and asked if they were interested in being a part of the market. And those who came forward and said yes, that is who we went with. We will be having 40 vendors at the road market this time. When it started, I think we started at 18, and every market since then, we've been increasing the numbers, and Charlottesville really came out and supported. We have 40 vendors that will be at the road market on Friday. Lots of exciting things. I know the vendors are excited and ready to put out their stuff. So people come on out and support them. Come by, bring as much money as you can, walk with a friend. Come and support these vendors.
It's about supporting our own.
Yes, it's about supporting our own.
Now, I mean, like I said, this is something that's going to be on a continuous basis, not all the time in Charlottesville, but throughout various villages.
Yes.
So for those who are doing their own little handicraft, they're doing agro-processing, whatever the case may be, they need to get connected. They need to be on that database.
Yes, they do.
So how do they do?
Well, they kind of visit the division, the community development department, get your businesses registered. We have registration forms for businesses. So you come in and you register, and we will put you as part of the database. So when we have a market in your area, we will definitely be contacting you.
Right. So those, yes, I said, those entrepreneurs that are watching, as I know quite a few of you watching, and many people, they complain, you know, teacher don't give them the light of day, and you know, that small talk that does go on.
Yes, I
but you need to put yourself forward.
Yes,
you need to register yourself to at least be able to fairly criticize them.
Yes, you do. So we're asking that even if you're now starting up or your business is not officially registered as yet, we're asking that you come into us and you register with us. You say, this is what I am doing, this is what I offer, and we will guide you through. Another thing that we would normally do is to partner with the business development unit. So we help businesses go forward. On the day in Charlottesville, the business development unit will be present, and they are supposed to be giving packages to the vendors at the market, as well as disseminating information to others who will be visiting the market about the loans and the grants that they normally offer. So we normally bring that into the space so that persons could be informed of what is available to them.
So, well, viewers, like, this is your opportunity. Like, if you want to find out more information and especially talk to some of those vendors that have been through the programs, this is your opportunity.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. So once again, what are the dates and time for the road show in Charlottesville?
The Tobago Road Market Experience 7, Charlottesville Bay Area. It is on the 24th of March, 2023 from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come on out, support our local vendors. It is going to be a lovely, lovely experience. You do not want to miss this.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Miss Blake, for being on with us and giving us just that update and encouraging us to go. So viewers, take a day, go up to Charlottesville, enjoy yourself a little bit.
Yes, yes,
and, you know, partake. Most importantly, support our local entrepreneurs.
And thank you for having me.
All right, great. All right, viewers, we'll be right back after this break.
The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. Do more, live more. Do more, live more. Oh.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, 'cause this is your show. More, live more.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard, I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
October will never be better with Tobago carnival fever. Book your passage and come on over.
We live where you vacation. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come let we go, come let we go to sweet Tobago. Come let we go, come till you know. Come find your soul in sweet Tobago.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates. And well, viewers, just before we get into our interview, just by way of public service announcements, the Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago, EIDCOT Limited, wishes to advise the public of a full-scale emergency simulation exercise on Thursday, 23rd March 2023, which is tomorrow, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon at the Cove Eco-Industrial Business Park, Buku Kano Bay Road, Lowlands, Tobago. All right, so viewers, just be aware of that if you're going to be in that area tomorrow morning. Don't be alarmed, it's just an emergency simulation exercise. All right, now on to our interview this morning because, well, viewers, you know that Easter is not very far away, just a couple weeks away. And yes, the Mount Pleasant goat racing festivities are on. So to speak to us about that is Miss Jean Scott Henry, the Sports Assistant Secretary of the Canby Mount Pleasant Community Council, as well as Mr. Hayden Phillips, Vice President of the Canby Mount Pleasant Community Council. Good morning to both of you all. How are you?
Morning, I'm okay.
Great.
All right. Now, first of all, I want to start with you, Mr. Hayden, because we got to talk about goat racing. You know, coming back. I know you guys tried something last year, even with short notice coming out of COVID-19 and all those challenges. You still were able to hold a successful event, but this year is supposed to be bigger and better.
Well, a correction. Actually, our last year we didn't do the event.
Okay.
But THE, they tried to bring back the event last year, but that wasn't the village council.
Okay.
But from this year, the village council will be back with a bang.
With a bang.
With the goat races.
Mm-hmm.
Right now we have this year we have 11 goat races coupled with novelty events and flat races. All right. Now we have new novelty events for the children and adults, and it's a whole family affair.
All right. And I mean, it's not just goat races, right? There's a whole lot of activity around it. So, Ms. Jean, can you give us an idea of just some of those activities that are going to be happening on Easter Monday at the Mount Pleasant? Would it be at the Mount Pleasant grounds?
Mount Pleasant Recreation.
Great.
Well, we are going to start on Saturday. This Saturday.
Oh, okay.
We are having a maypole preliminary competition. We are hoping that people would come out. Right? What we want to do, we want to bring back that culture of maypole. A flyer went out which we really made a typographical error. It is not $100 per team, but $100 per person per team. Right? So we like people to understand that. Right? We really like to apologize for that typo there. And the teams consist of about 10 to 12 people.
Yes.
10 to 12 persons. So from that, on the day of the sports, we will be selecting, 3 groups will be selected to do the finals. So we are hoping that people will come out on Saturday, as much groups as possible, right? So that we can have that grand affair. Now, it's a new thing. First time we are putting it on, right? So we wanted to bring some new thing to the sports, to rejuvenate the sport, so that was one of it that we bring on.
And what are the prizes like for that maypole competition?
Well, we really have attractive prizes, you know, very attractive prizes. I don't want to give the secret out today, but we have very attractive prizes that we are looking at. We want to invite the youth groups and the schools, you know, to bring that culture, because we find that maypole is going out, right? And you know it really comes back in May.
Yes.
But because of the sports, we want to bring it forward a bit, right? And also we will be having our bonnet parade as usual, which is a big thing for us. We, as much persons as possible, we start from babes in arms to 12. And then, but sorry to say that the male part of it only participate in the couples. We do not have male single, right? They participate in the couples, and the entrance to that is $60 for the single and $100 for the couple. And also on Holy Thursday, we will be having a street parade. Letting you all know that you can come to cover us. We are starting from Tamil Square, and it will finish at Gardenside Street. We'll be having some goat on show because the goat men.
So they are going to put parade in themselves before the races.
Yes, the goat will be there. So people could come out to see some goat, right? So we will be having that street parade, which is also a new thing. Now this is our 48th year. And we have now 49, and then we are looking forward to the big 50, right? So we expect to have a new thing, and we expect that the sports to be great.
Right.
Now, to enter the sports, we still say that our old price because we know the economy and the people. So our gongs is $40 and the stand is $60. Children under two and under is free.
Great.
And between 3 to 12 is $20. Right? So we are trying to keep it as minimal as possible in order to accommodate everybody.
Now, Mr. Hayden,
Yes.
you know, I mean, people often wonder, you know, why should we come to see some of the goat races in Mount Pleasant? So I want you to tell me a bit about just the difference in the culture between Mount Pleasant. What is so special about Mount Pleasant?
Right. Mount Pleasant is more a family affair.
Yes.
We cater for everybody, children, adults, middle-aged, because we have bouncy castles, you have the chair plane, right, coupled with the goat racing. This year we plan to put on back the greasy pole, and we'll also introduce a tug of war for the protective services, which will be very exciting.
Certainly.
Fire, police, prisons, army, coast guard. So it will be very exciting. We have the goat races. We have 11 races, as I said. We have 4 C2 goats, C2 races. Those are goats that just come into run. First timers. We have 2 C1 races, 2B and 2 A class. Well, the goat to beat this year in the A class would be Soft Target. That's Mr. Clark's goat.
Nice.
Yeah.
So viewers, if you want to get into some goat racing action, I mean, it's Tobago, it's Easter time. I mean, when it's Easter time, you know, it's goat and crab races. So, I mean, you could get a second dose of it. We often forget Easter Monday in Mount Pleasant, but I'm telling you folks, don't forget that.
Yes.
Another thing we're having on new will be our door prize. We're having a door prize. We have it for the children, we have for the grounds, and we have for the stand. So we have 3 door prizes. So what we are encouraging people to do is to come early, right? If you come early, you'll get into that door prize. You know, people like to come 8, 9 o'clock. No, that time the door prize will be gone. So if you want to get into that door prize, and the prices will be very special, right? So we want people to come out early. Now the sport starts at 11. However, the official starting will be at 2.
Okay.
Right? That is going to be open. But the sports this year will be starting at 11. We usually start at 12. But we are bringing it forward this year so that it can start at 11 o'clock. We are asking people to come out early, all the schools, all the people that have to participate in the races. We'll ask them to come out. We are going to have a bumper time. We have lots of vendors selling different kind of food, so you don't have to walk with any food. Everything will be there ready for you at Mount Pleasant. It's a family thing, right? So bring your family, visitors. We have a lot of visitors from Trinidad and so that really participate. So we are asking you to come out and support us in our 48th year.
Now, for those who want to take part in the various competitions, whether it's the Maypole competition, the Greasy Pole, and the Easter Bonnet Parade, who do they contact to register themselves?
Well, you can contact me, 4744661. You can register at the Cranby Mount Pleasant Early Childhood Center, or you can register at the community center. There is somebody there every day, right? So that you can register there. You can go by the community center, or you can go at the early childhood center, and you can register anything.
In terms of the goats would be pre-registered. The Goat Race Association would register the goats before the day.
Certainly.
Way before the day.
Certainly.
Because we have to print programs and this kind of thing. So they would be registered before.
Well, and it's serious business. Goat racing is serious business, people.
Serious business.
All right. Well, we are unfortunately out of time, but just before we go, I'm going to give you, Mr. Hayden, just the last opportunity. Or I guess Mr. Jean could chime in too.
No problem.
Just notify the public about what's happening on Easter Monday.
Well, I would like to invite Tobago and the wider population of Trinidad and Tobago and even the Caribbean to come on Easter Monday, the 10th of April. It would be the place to be. Come out and enjoy a family affair.
All right.
Okay, well, we are inviting all of you to come and see the different activities that will be there. You'll have the bonnet parade, you have the maypole, right? We have our prizes, we have all the races. So we are inviting all of you to come out on the Camby Pleasant Recreation Ground at 11 o'clock, and we know that you'll have a bumper time.
All right, folks, yes. So Easter time is going to be a wonderful time in Tobago. I mean, we often think about the goat races in Buku on Easter Tuesday, but hey, don't forget Mount Pleasant. You could get a double dose of the action. All right, folks, so that's how we're going to end this morning's show. Thank you for viewing with us, and yeah, have a safe and productive day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.